following is a presentation of MRE UNO, Division 2.
Hello everyone and welcome back to MRE UNO D2 Justice July here on the YouTube channel. We got another good one here as we start another day of action for the final tournament of the regular season in D2. And we got quite the interesting one here. This will be number 3 seed J Money, the winner of the Archery April tournament, taking on number 11 seed Vixity, who is the highest seeded rookie coming into this tournament, and looking to go on a bit of an upset run here and possibly win debuting in the tournament. They only got one other player left to beat here, so we'll see how this matchup affects that battle. And again, later in the round on the 10th, we'll figure out who ends up being debuting in the tournament depending on the result of this one. I'm your host, G-Man. Let's get into the schedule here for today. And technically, we've had a weird schedule because the first game already happened because it was at midnight, so Myhill Mazwat had a midnight kickoff in EST time, and Myhill was able to get the run in, get the win, 4-2, moves on, first tournament winner to not go one and done in the following tournament this season, gets the 10 wins as well. That helps his chances at the D2 championship for his seeding. We'll see where he ends up at the end of the tournament, but for now, Myhill into the round of 16. Mazwat, unfortunately, his season's over, but showed some good fight in this one despite some card differential. And of course, coming up next, J Money and Vixity. We'll see who wins this one, and then for our next stream, that'll be 3 p.m. 4 p.m. actually. We have made a slight mistake on this. We made a slight mistake on the schedule. That should be 4 p.m., but that'll be Geo and Marble side. Take each other on, and then at 9 p.m. to wrap up the day, it'll be Not Short and 6. That'll be a good matchup to watch for. Really one of those 50-50s where it could go either way. Short looking to get this win to have a qualifier match for the next round. 6 looking to continue his upset run after beating Luke in the round of 64. All right, let's take a look at the bracket now, and we have some interesting results here. Winner of this will actually play Jordy in the round of 16. Big upset over Ridley. Jordy did get a big card differential, but was able to execute on the cards and get the win there. For Ridley, not the result they were hoping for, especially after coming off a sweep in the round of 64. They'll have to see where they lay in terms of the D2 championship, whether they can find that at-large spot or not, or where they end up being placed depending on if they get that at-large spot. And of course, J Money Vixity coming up. J Money already locked into the D2 championship with a tournament victory. Vixity, of course, needs a Final Four to make at least the LCQ. If they want an auto berth, it's win the tournament or not win the tournament at that point, because again, debuting in the last tournament is a bit of a tough road, but Vixity has been showing some good strength so far, so they do have a shot here, and if they could get this win, I think the possibility of them making the Final Four and being that getting that run within one tournament becomes a bigger possibility. All right, let's take a look at the stream here. I'm joined by my co-commentator Yoshi and me, one of the players, J Money. We're discussing the legacy of Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers and how they're going to go 20-0, of course, but that's besides the point. Yoshi, I mean, this matchup, I think this is going to be a real test for both players here. For J Money, I mean, he beat a rookie in the last round in Apollo 4-3. That was a close matchup. But he's also been, I guess, a little bit doubted at times by some of the analysts here, but he's really showing up and showing that he can definitely be a threat in the D2 championship here. I think a win here will help boost some more momentum here. And then for Vixity, another tough matchup. Captain Gaming was looking pretty good throughout most a good chunk of the season, but Vixity really played that one well. Had a big card differential in the wrong way for Vixity and still got the win there in 6. But your thoughts on this matchup, what both are going to try to bring to the table here, and just a general expectation for what the outcome could be.
So yeah, what I feel about this match is we see Vixity, who I think had definitely one of the more impressive wins that we've seen, being able to come back, not come back, being able to win with a pretty significantly less ammo. I think is something to you really have to keep an eye out for players like that who can be resilient in that sense. Um, and J Money's got to watch out, right? Like J Money obviously had a tough match against Apollo. It went 7. It was back and forth. So I expect kind of another back and forth in a sense because I think against rookies, J Money. I mean, I guess he doesn't play many rookies to begin with, but um, we're kind of seeing it for the first. I think he's only he doesn't have much experience against rookies until this tournament. It ended up it ended up nearly costing him another round of 64 exit, but getting that win is definitely starting to give people more confidence that he can make another run. I mean, I feel like the winner of this match could make a big run. Honestly, I feel like these two have really Vixity's played only one game, but I feel like that game alone is showing there's something to that where she could make a big run if things go her way. And then same with J Money. Maybe he just didn't get the luck he needed against Bob Ross that first tournament or that last tournament, right? So I think there's a lot on the table here. Both these players could easily make a run, but something's got to give. I expect a close match.
Right, we'll see what happens in this one. I mean, again, J Money went 7 in the last round. Vixity went 6, so neither player necessarily had a blowout per se, but we'll see how the result turns out here. I'm gonna post a question for J Money since he cannot VC today. But we'll go to Vixity on this one. This is technically your first stream match. You had a really good showing in the round of 64. Now you go into the round of 32 against a tournament winner from this season. Your thoughts going into this one, and just I guess the strength of a player J Money is, and what your thoughts are on how you're going to get the win here today. And I think Vixity will type their answer. Yeah, Vixity will type their answer. So, Vixity will type it up. J Money will also type it up, but yeah, we'll see what the responses are. But I think this has been one of the more interesting matchups for this round here. And honestly, out of the rest of the jury region, definitely the one that's most intrigued me, at least. So I'm curious to see how this one will play out. Again, this is the final match for the jury in the round of 32. White Spider beat Clint 4-2. Pikachu beat Puzzle Dan 4-0. Jordy beat Ridley 4-0, as we saw here in the bracket before. And of course, this one will wrap it up here. So only upset in this one was Jordy over Ridley. That was a bit of a card differential game, but it's been higher seed favored so far, but that doesn't necessarily always mean that the higher seed will win. Just we'll have to see how this plays out though. But this round of 16 is really shaping up to have a lot of good matchups here. I am very nervous. I have played in front of my friends before, never had mine telecasted before, so the adrenaline is very high. I hope for a great game despite this, though. I sure will be a blast. Yeah, and I mean, Yoshi, I mean, we've talked about this before. Sometimes the stream game actually adds an extra element to it in a way. But I guess your general thoughts on how people, I guess, break that down and take it on, especially if it's someone's first stream, which in most cases that would be someone who's a rookie in D2.
Yeah, I think you have if you have like a decent passion for playing in this league, like streams are definitely going to be nervous. You definitely want to give yourself a good first impression. Although at the end of the day, I think it's just a matter of playing just how you normally would. Don't let the stream affect the way you play, and put your best foot out there. And then if you win, if you lose, you lose. But at least make it a good, like, make it a competitive match. That's the goal I would have if I was in Vixity's position. Just play as best you can. Don't you might if you can. It's easy to make a mistake or two depending on the situation, but don't put yourself up for it if that happens. Just it really it's gonna be interesting because I feel like, especially as a rookie, you don't really know what to expect. Like, you don't know what the stream is gonna be like in a sense, so you get to learn a bit of that too. So if they get this win, that'll help as well.
All right, we got J Money's response here. Then, of course, for Vixity, yeah, some players do deafen for the commentary. Some people like hearing it. Some people like hearing it as they play. Some people just want to be locked into the game. I personally sometimes deafen as well, so that is an option. But for J Money, it was a much needed victory as the last tournament obviously did not go my way. As we all know, I took tournament 2, so I'm not too worried here. Job's never finished, and yeah, that is true. J Money did win tournament 2 archery April, so no matter what happens here, he is in the D2 championship. At this point, he's really just fighting for seeding here. And of course, as I mentioned before in the pregame, building up some momentum here as we get into the playoffs. But with that, I think that's it for the questions. Red will be our ref here. I think he already initialized the game, so J Money will give the first card start here, and we will get rolling.
Yeah, let's see what J Money picks first. I think he usually goes like, yes, like a low double digit, like 10. So not nothing too surprised there.
All right, well, we're starting with a blue skip here, so an ammo start to kick things off. We are underway. I think that was not. I think that was not that dip, but
Probably. All right, let's see what J Money goes for. Starts with up the blue 9. Yeah, game 1 generally is a feeler game. You don't really know what. Yeah, it's a feeler game usually. It doesn't really indicate who's going to win the series. You definitely just see, okay, how does game 1 go? Get an understanding of the opponent's strategy over time. Vixity actually is going to deafen, so um, taking that into account. Big +6 to, I think that was Vixity's first turn as well. So really just going all in on the aggression.
yeah, that's gonna throw J Money back early here, and we switch the red. J Money over up the 15 cards, but this is an interesting opening here to throw that out from the start. Vixity is muted here, so I guess we could be a little bit more descriptive on the commentary now. But
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, 15 cards. I mean, J Money has been in this position before. He's gonna just go for the blue switch, trying to bait or trying to test if Vixity has any blues.
I honestly think with 15, that is the move to make if you can make it. Vixity's actually gonna go for the crossover in the
Ooh.
green though.
So yeah, a good idea from Vixity to understand. Oh, but J Money had another blue 8, so that might foil the plans there.
No,
No,
it's another
really
crossover.
doesn't.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
technically a rainbow. I mean, there's an extra blue 8 thrown in there, but
Wow. I am. That is crazy. So Vixity had 2 extra 8s in the back end, if with the idea that J Money might just try and go back to blue. And
well, wow.
okay, interesting.
I mean, J Money with 13 cards, no yellow, but Vixity off rolling here in this first game. Already down to 4.
Well,
And there it
okay, we
is.
go into blue, but we've seen the number efficiency. You would expect maybe Vixie to play another 3 here.
I mean, Vixity's been able to dance around this blue so far, so we'll see how much longer they can keep it up. And it's going to actually be
Oh my.
wow, a switch with the blue gets the reverse. Now we go into red, and that's a check on Uno.
Okay. Interesting, yeah, is gonna bank on J Money not having any cards. It's possible because of that draw in yellow. I understand why you go for this, but I feel like J Money's, it could be hiding something. He's good at hiding what he may have until he gets that run to the finish. So we'll see. J Money could easily just do anything to counter this.
I think this has been a good opening from Vixity so far. Really been able to play around the colors, but I do think J Money has something. Yeah, there's the +4. So gonna get the 9th game 1 winner for now. But that was a good opener there, and J Money's just gonna have a bit of a reset.
Okay. So Vixity, yeah, with an aggressive strat, almost a plan A that works, but just missing out on that finish.
All right, J Money with the self ditto, gonna try to force another draw here. There it is.
All right. See if J Money can find a strategy from these draws now. Um, will he be able to get to the finish himself? Well, it will take a little bit of time, but so far it is slow and steady wins the race here.
All right, well, I mean, this red is working out for J Money here, so just gonna keep it rolling. Vixie looking to leave the skip open to maybe get a switch off that, but I feel like J Money's gonna want to keep rolling the red here.
Yeah, I guess another one.
Yeah. And I mean, J Money just kind of doing the right thing, placing down the right numbers here to avoid any switches.
See, does he
Again,
get the number?
some of that is just being fortunate here, but I mean, J Money doing a good job to be calm and collected with this as Vixie keeps
Really
throwing up.
had a lot of reds to start things off, but Vixie finally gets the 0 switch. Interesting there. Does J Money have green? You would think so. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, well, in that time, J Money has taken the lead now, so really good comeback to get the draws from Vixity and roll down red.
Yeah, and what I find interesting is J Money playing that 0 towards the end, uh, actually working out in his favor rather than playing it early, which most people would, because Vixie would have been able to switch into green sooner. So,
Oh,
oh,
full
and here
card.
comes a run. This could be the finish. Seen J Money do this
I mean,
before.
based off the way he's typing this up, this might end up being a finisher. Yeah, there it is. Second +4 of the game for J Money there. That'll wrap that one up. 549.
Wow.
J Money, I mean, really just kind of able to bring that back after a really strong start from Vixity. But 6 card run ends it.
Yeah, the patience from J Money was really good, and just waited for Vixity to expose her hand, and she had to with the wild. She didn't have a +4, and all she could do was hope that J Money had nothing. But unfortunately, um, pretty much just didn't get the nothing off the +4, which from that point it became difficult. So yeah, just J Money really knows he can be set back, but that doesn't mean he's going to lose. He can find a way to win. I mean, yeah, pretty much all I can think of with this game is we saw a clear, we saw clearly the plans that these two had. Vixity going for that early plan to get the finish fast. But J Money was able to get the edge once we saw him getting his plan going, and all he really needed was that switch into green after the red 0, which actually worked out perfectly for him to finish the game. So not too much to say after that.
I mean, yeah, I think for Vixity, definitely was trying to bank on running it early, and I mean, with J Money having like 13 cards or so, definitely was going to be a risk to try and get the finish off the wild force check. But yeah, again, J Money good with the ammo saves, had the +4 saved up, and then also had another +4 in the back pocket to use later on to get the finish. But yeah, that was a decent swing of momentum there. Vixity started off strong. J Money slowly reeled himself back in and then just closed out the game. But Vixity so close. Sometimes these draws are not friendly. Just need to adapt to it. And yeah, I mean that's another thing also. Sometimes you kind of get really close and then you get thrown back and then suddenly the draws just do not come your way at all. So that's another thing also that can throw people off. But we'll see what J Money has to say here. And then yeah, Yoshi. I mean, again, the draw city sometimes it's a mixed bag. Sometimes it's really kind. Sometimes it gives you junk card after junk card and it just makes you feel more. It makes it more and more agonizing as you go further and further away. But um. Yeah, I mean, just any thoughts on what Vixity said with that one?
Yeah, I think yeah, because we have to think about that early +6. That might have been where J Money got a lot of the good cards. So the draws, in that sense, also the draws just weren't in her favor as well. Not just from the fact that she wasn't getting anything, but the fact that J Money was getting a lot of things. So yeah, I mean, it was just a situation where Vixie tried something. +6 was hoping to give him not much, but J Money doesn't is not going to reveal that for sure. He's not going to reveal what happened because he's that kind of player. He's not going to say too deeply into how the game went. But we could assume that he probably got at least one of those +4s off of the +6.
All right, well, J Money goes up 1-0 here, and then for J Money, all honesty, my feelings stay the same. Never too worried. Never just need everything to fall together the way I needed them to. All right, well, with that said, I'll wrap up game one. We'll jump into game two here. J Money still has to call, but just cannot pick 10. So we'll see what he decides to go to, whether he stays around the range or maybe goes somewhere a little different.
I think we're looking at 11 or 9. We'll see what he ends up picking, but probably going to be somewhere in the same range as usually what most people go for after they win the first game.
All right, gonna go 11.
Yeah, those are the
Another
oh my,
ammo start. Yeah, this one
could be
being
an
the +2 this
opportunity.
time.
Could be an opportunity for J Money to fire back after Vixity +6 him in the first game, but we know how that ended up, so maybe it's better to just leave it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been surprised if J Money jumped on the +2 there. That's not something he typically does, but the option was there, just decided not to go for it.
Just play it cool on the green so far, and then as I say that, we switch into yellow.
All right, keeps rolling with yellow now. Vixity going one down with the yellow 8.
Yeah, maybe Vixie's trying to play a bit more passive, trying to maybe saving her ammo is going to be the better strategy this time, or maybe just has the different kind of hand and got to figure out how she's going to win off it. Maybe she's better with less ammo. I mean, we saw it against Captain Gaming that ended up working out. Ooh,
All right,
okay.
3-card switch into the blue. That'll give him the lead.
So yeah, just going into blue, trying to get the right color switches. J Money not going to switch right off the bat, but I think he's going to be thinking about that. Like maybe at some point I can try and switch into yellow and see if she ran out, but we'll have to see. He's going to be content with the blue for now. Get down to 5 cards for Vixity, looking for a double. The +2 as well, going to set J Money back again.
Yeah, I think Vixity kind of again rolling early with the ammo here, trying to get a gap here. She's in some ways kind of doing somewhat similar to last game, but not exactly the same. But they are going to draw on blue though, so we'll see how J Money responds now.
Yeah, looked for the +2 after knowing that she ran out of blue, and yeah, usually when you make that type of play, they're either going to go for like a check position or they're going to have to draw. We end up seeing the latter there. So we'll see if J Money use it, how J Money uses this. Okay, he's just gonna be content with the drawing as well.
All right, so first draw city here of this series happens in game 2 as we just about to hit 3 minutes. And again, we mentioned it last game, Vixity draws really were not going her way, so hoping for a little bit more fortune here. J Money looking to build that hand and try and grab the lead and maybe make this 2-0.
Yeah, not much to say. I mean, I think J Money, whether or not he has cards to play, I think he's trying to be more patient. I think his strategy of not jumping the gun too early and waiting for the right time to get the win, I think is his main strategy, as Vixity's got to adapt to that. As we go into red now, I think that's the first time. Yeah, first time we got to red. Now we're just going to play numbers divisible by 3 into the red 4.
Yeah, I mean, again, with
Interesting.
the switch the red, I feel like that breaks up the draw city for a while, but now we're rolling here.
So red 0, that's... So we've seen this before. Does Vixity go for the switch? Oh my god, the same switch into green.
Second game
We'll
in a row,
see what
both high
happens.
those numbers. Oh, it's a crossover the yellow now.
Wow, okay, yeah. That's what I was kind of expecting, like, from the last game, like, maybe a 0 switch, but actually, now here we see the 0 switch into yellow. Vixity's actually going to be okay with that. But what does J Money do on yellow? That's the question. I think yellow's going to be the color he needs to prep something up here.
J Money typing up something here. See
Even if it
how they throw down next turn here with the yellow switch.
Yeah, I think even if this isn't a finish, I think he's going to think about throwing out some ammo because 3 cards. Vixity at 3 left. No, okay, he's actually going to play it cool on the yellow. Okay. Maybe trying to risk it and hope that Vixity doesn't have the finish. There's a draw. So this could be good for J Money now.
We are getting around the time range we were for game 1 here. Just past it. 5:49 the last game, just past 5:49 for this one, so this one ends up being longer.
Yellow 5, nothing again. J Money rolling with it now. The draws city might have helped him more than Vixity here.
I mean, again, with J Money, I mean, most of this has been coming down to ammo here. 'Cause J Money does a lot of ammo saves here. It doesn't really throw anything out too early per se, but this might be another situation where he does that once again. There you go. Just as I
Yeah.
said, it's into red now, and I'll wrap it up. 2-0 J Money.
And Moya once again just finds the right color to set up for the win. And that's all you need. I mean, if Vixie was able to go back to green, then that could have been, then J Money would have had to think about what to do. But maybe she didn't have the ability to do that anyway with the card she had left. So once again, a solid win for J Money. He seems to be. I think he's definitely in this element when he has at least 1+4 in his hand, because he clearly has ammo, but not much that really chains together. But that +4 is able to chain different kinds of ammo together, which has helped him win both of these games. But look, I mean, this isn't the worst thing in the world for Vixie because, yeah, J Money's up 2-0, but he's up 2-0 on his homestand. It's always possible that Vixity now, with the control of the card start, could snag the next 2 and make this a tie game. J Money has to keep because he can't put his foot off the gas.
All right. So again, two questions. One for both. J Money didn't have a good ammo holds there. Question for this time is how much was from the start and how much did you pick up along the way? And then for Vixity, unfortunately, you seem to get bitten again by Draw City, but now head into your homestand where you have some more control. Any comments on the game plan for game 3 onwards? And again, we'll see what Vixity does here for their homestand, whether they go higher or lower. I don't know if they'll stick around the 10-11 range because it hasn't really been doing great so far. But I mean, looking at the ammo split, I think the 3-0 +4 so far is really being a big help for J Money. So Vixity, again, kind of being thrown into a card deficit, but we saw them win with a card deficit in the last round. So see if they can bring this back. But we have seen a lot of people bring it back from a 2-0. Sometimes it ends up being a homestand series. So Vixity could just win 2 straight and then suddenly it's 2-2. But we'll see. For Vixity, hope for better tidings. The card climate isn't pointing in my direction so far, but that happens in Uno. And then J Money, I only drew the +4 and the red skip along the way. Just ended up being exactly what I needed. So again, red reverse +2. Those were holds. But the +4 and skips were draws. I think that +4 did come in clutch here, giving him the option to go into red. Or not even just the red, just being able to close out the other color. So that works out for J Money, but we'll probably jump into game 3 now unless Yoshi got any other comments here before we head in.
No, nothing. I think it's funny because Vixity speaking as if it's meteorological May with those tidings in the climate.
That is true. But yeah, Vixity has game 3 call. We'll see where their head's at and where they go to. Again, both power plays still on the board right now, although neither player I would expect to use it this early. Alright, gonna go lower, so it goes with 8. Green 9's the opener, so no ammo cards start this time.
All right, let's see here. We got just a clean start. I mean, Vixity, I think, has just been getting slightly less lucky, having trying some strategies that just aren't working. We'll see if Vixity gets more cards to work with to really make this tough for J Money. Because I mean, if we look at the stats, it seems that this is kind of even, but the 3-0 on +4s is the big deficit.
I would say probably J Money advantage right now, but not like to a significant amount. But yeah, Vixity went for the immediate blue switch, but that is not actually what they were hoping for there, with J Money being able to keep it rolling. Was hoping for a quick switch there and just did not get it. But now both are drawing on blue, so we have a very early draw city.
Okay. Yeah, I think with eight cards or lower, it's very likely that we see an early draw city. And my only problem with this is, J Money's been getting the cards off draw city, and you bank on that again. You really got to hope that J Money doesn't win this game, because being down 3-0 is pretty difficult.
I mean, yeah, Vixity quickly switching the yellow here. I think for Vixity, the best strategy is try to keep off the draw cities as long as possible. J Money's going to draw.
Okay. Yeah, J Money is now drawing, which Vixity get an opportunity to do something here, which I think is what she needs. Yellow 4.
Goes back to yellow 4. That puts Vixity down to 5. Again, she's looking to get one back here. J Money again drawing.
Now Vixity gets the red, which will open J Money up, but we'll see. I mean, all I think J Money would be able to do maybe like a +2, but we'll see. Right now, J Money might not be getting the cards right now.
Yeah, Vixity's been having a flurry of 4s right now because I mean they drew the blue 4, then got to switch to yellow, and then had another yellow 4 to go back and head into red. So 4s have been a big part of the switches here for Vixity thus far.
Yeah, no, it was a it's honestly because you see that, right, and CJ Money not switching on those fours. You're comfortable with getting that switch into the red with the fours. So it ends up working out really well. J Money gonna have to think about this move. Maybe he has something, is thinking about using it here. Possible. Like we said, you can never with J Money, it's really hard to tell if he has ammo or not. It may seem like he's got nothing, which I mean I kind of hinted at, but that that one draw, maybe that last draw gave him a +4. Yeah, it could be something big here as he's typing. Oh my god.
All right, that's a quite the big response there, but yeah, +4 is definitely gonna throw Vixity back a little bit, but we don't actually really stay on the blue. We just go straight into green, so that might be interesting to note for later. But J Money with the lead now.
Yeah. Okay,
Cool.
goes into red. So this to me this I think J Money could have faded the red here. It was just trying to play defense. Yeah. So but also this may be like an aggressive play from Vixie trying to knowing that she has a lot of red, just wants to get those numbers out of the way, not caring if J Money faded or not, which I understand as well.
So J Money's at 4-0 on the +4s right now. We'll see how Vixie can bring this one back here. I mean, they're running red so far, which is helping them out. And it's gonna be a ditto play there, but I think the biggest thing is for J Money to run out on this red here.
Yeah, that's what Vixie's got to hope for. Because J Money could finish the game right here and okay, no, and doesn't, but does get a double play to potentially be a check, honestly, depending on what J Money has left. But Vixie can't do anything about it, so we'll see. Oh my
Self
god, it's a
ditto.
ditto play.
Yeah, I mean for Vixie, if they maybe have some ammo here, could consider using it now, but I mean again, these +4s have been coming in at the wrong time for Vixie. It just does not seem like these draws have been able to find anything there.
Alright, Vixie needing a top, definitely needs anything to top
Oh,
tech.
Vixie's gonna power play here, so uh
So let's
maybe
see. I
maybe a
mean,
bit of a desperation switch here, but or maybe trying to throw J Money off.
trying
Okay,
to.
wild
Oh,
green.
okay, got a wild.
Maybe wanted to
Does
ensure like a +2 or something. No, okay, just wanted to switch. But that
oh, and
throws
it's
an extra card
another
for J
four as
Money.
well. It's
Yeah, that
another
throws
four.
another card J Money's way, and J Money actually has the
Oh,
ditto.
that's ridiculous.
Okay, we'll see how this plays out. I don't necessarily dislike this, but this is definitely going to need definitely needs to see the some of the writing on the wall with what hand the rest of their cards are.
If this, I hope this is for a run to the finish.
That works
Yeah.
out, yeah. You know what? That works out. That was a really good power play there to make sure Vixity had that locked in. So 2-1 there. That could have changed the course of the game, which is usually the best power plays, but we'll have to ask J Money what those last two cards ended up being. But Vixity got one on the board here. Used the power play there and maybe changed the ties of that game because J Money was down to 2 there. But your thoughts on going for it right there?
Oh
Green 2 and
my
green 6.
god.
Okay. So
So yeah, I think that actually. So wild green, green. Yeah, no, that would have been that would have been game. Assuming, yeah, that would have been game. Uh, because Vixie chose to go to green.
too scared this time. No, actually, because if you played green wilds, then you would have lost the game.
Because so yeah, the thing here's the
Unless
thing.
you actually maybe unless actually no, still would have lost because green wilds, J Money would have been at Uno. Maybe the +2, but I'm not really sure. Uh,
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, what you could have. Yeah, there are a couple options here. I mean, if you wanted to risk J Money getting to Uno, then you could have +2'd and then you go for the run. But there's so many variables there. You just didn't. You just maybe expected like a +4 finish or something. It it wasn't. I don't think that was a wasteful power play, but maybe it's a way to potentially change momentum.
Maybe could have done the plus. Again, I don't think it was a bad power play. Especially with the fact that Vixity's on the board now could be a momentum swing, but definitely going to have to think about what they do from this point forward now. Without the power play, and maybe just trying to see if they could build some momentum here. And again, maybe they get a home series, because if Vixity wins game 4, we're tied at 2-2.
Yeah, ironically, if Vixity played wild, like Vixity could have done wild green or wild yellow, which if they did wild yellow, the power play would have not made a difference. But I think it just depends on what Vixity would have done at that moment. We don't really know. There's a lot of variables there, but I think there was a possibility that J Money would have won depending on what Vixity did. So
I mean,
in a way,
J
you
Money,
feel the
J
win.
Money could have also power played to just ensure he had the win as well. That's another thing
That
that you could
too.
consider.
Yeah, that's also true. I think that actually makes sense because if Vixity played the wild green, then J Money would have maybe expected, oh, they're gonna win in one turn. Let me power play here. So actually, yeah, you make that makes a lot of sense. So you prevent a 3. I think I think that J Money probably would have done that. Um, so preventing the 3-0, which I think honestly is better.
We'll see what J Money has to say here, and then we'll jump to game 4 here. Vixty can't pick 8 cards, but let's see what J Money has to say first.
Yeah, we see Vixity has been getting the wilds, but J Money's been getting the +4s. Everything else is kind of even.
That's an interesting comment from J Money. I can't say too much right now about that. The power's in the next hand. So
Okay.
I'm interested to see what he means by that, but we'll jump to game 4 now. All right, 7. Yeah, I'd figured OG probably would have been where Vixity goes for. I mean, the 8 worked out, so that makes sense.
Which
Blue 6. That's gonna be the start, and interesting split here. I mean, for J Money's first two games with a homestand, it started with ammo card starts, and then for Vixity's first 2, it's just been a regular number. So just something that I thought was interesting to point out. We'll see if that trend could continue into game 5.
Wow. So starting
Ditto
off with
off the
the Ditto
bat.
here.
Oh, all right,
Okay,
double
double.
play there. So Vixity's already at 4. Again, I think Vixity's just trying to play this a little aggressive here. I mean, they've seen the draw cities and not work out too well here, so maybe just trying to see if they could just run it quickly.
Both continuing to play despite the low count on cards. As I say, that Vixie draws.
J-Money keeps going with the blue 4.
Is that another 4? Oh, God. Well, this is the first 4 of the game, but still. Oh, well, yeah.
Vixity seems to have those 4s though, so that does get the switch, but that could help J-Money though. Although with the run on blue there, I'm wondering if there's a color he has none on off the start. So
Yeah,
that could
maybe
be
this
something
is
that
what J Money wanted, to switch into red. Let's see. J Money with the possession arrow, assuming Vixie plays here.
red
Yep,
8.
okay.
All right, it's
Getting
3-3
close, but
now.
wouldn't be surprised if both players draw at this point because with 7 cards, you may just it's tough. Like sometimes you could just get one of each color, and then it becomes like difficult to find how you're going to win this game. J Money
I mean,
maybe 2 turns away.
J
Thinking about
Money
power
has
play.
been J Money has been able to find most of the wilds of the wild +4 so far. Not a single wild yet, but with 3 cards, I mean, this is still an initial starting hand from J Money. Vixie picked up, I think, 1 card along the way, but
Yeah.
G Money is just typing this up here. We'll see if this is a finish or if we're
I
still
think
playing.
what's interesting, he's thinking about this move. I think he's probably 2 turns away, but is thinking about, do I use power play here?
Oh, he's
Ooh,
going with
okay,
the
+4.
+4 there, but yeah, no call there. So
I'm gonna. Hmm.
that
Is
that's
that
in, that's interesting.
intentional? Now I don't know if J Money wanted that or not. He probably didn't, but surprised that he didn't call Uno there. Good catch from Vixity though.
Yeah, Vixity making sure they're on it with that one. But yeah, I'm a little surprised by that one, especially with the +4. I'm wondering if there's a color split here for J Money right now, and maybe just wants to play more defense, and then just leaving it out, maybe gives him more cards. That could be a possibility because maybe the last card could be like a yellow.
Right, like that's what I'm thinking. Because if J Money did this on purpose and he wanted the call out, he does maybe didn't not expecting to get the win here and doesn't want to rely on top deck. Because he's been getting the cards so far, but maybe like he's sensing a trend shift. Considering like this is his 5th +4 in the game, and Vixity's still not. Oh my god, it might have actually worked.
Yeah, there's the yellow right there. I'm thinking that last card was a yellow, so that might have been what the play was there. And again, J Money knows these draws have been kind to him, and maybe wants to take a little bit more advantage of that, and it seems like it is working out.
All right, well Vixity I hope gets a +4 here because right now she has yet to get any. She doesn't. Wow. Well, yeah, you need to do that though. Gets the switch out of yellow.
I
Hopefully,
think
gonna
that's
stop this.
I think that's the right block. I think, I mean, obviously the wild yellow gives it away, but I think Vixie knows they need to be avoiding yellow for now, and I mean, they see that there, they're
Wow.
just gonna go for the draws.
Yeah, I needed to. I think that's the right play. We'll see what. Now it's draw city. You have to go for it because otherwise J Money wins. And the switch into green, still
Uh,
not.
oh,
Oh my,
that's a good
incredible!
hold. That's a good hold there to go back in the draw city.
Wow, that was great. You don't see that a lot.
I usually do that a lot on D1, but, uh, yeah, now we're continuing draw city here, and I mean, again, I think for Vixie, this might be their only option. That is not the card they wanted to see here. They wanted to avoid that yellow, and they're not gonna have their blue one switch this time.
Yeah, that is definitely unlucky. I think getting that off the draw is very fortunate for J Money. It's funny because you talk about the plays of saving that card to ensure draw city continues. I've actually been doing I've done that a couple of times myself as well. Maybe not in D1, but like in other leagues. But yeah, like I was just curious. I was.
Oh
Oh my god!
man, that's a rough
I
one.
couldn't even say. I couldn't even finish my sentence, and yeah, it's over. You just don't see
Yeah, I
that
mean,
much in D2.
yeah, I think unfortunate one for Vixity there. I think they had the right idea with the staying off yellow, but unfortunately that yellow one top deck really just kind of threw any plan of them staying alive in that one away. But yeah, green one actually would have been another draw city too, but uh yeah, J Money has just been able to find a lot of these draws here. I mean, that's 5-0 in the +4 so far. That's kind of unfortunate. I don't think Vixity has Vixity drawn a single +4 yet in either of their games. I feel like they got at least one in their one against Captain Gaming. I'm gonna have to check that, but
Oh,
um
yeah, I'd probably have, but I mean,
let me check.
that would be kind of crazy though if they are playing a +4-less tournament so far.
They had two in their match against Cap Gaming, so
Okay,
yeah, but that was a 7-2
let's see.
differential.
Yeah, yeah. So it wasn't intentional call out. Uh, Figured that the game that if J Money was gonna, yeah. So I think J Money was thinking, look, if I'm gonna have to draw next turn. I don't think it's gonna be a card I want. At least with 3 extra cards, I'm more likely to get something good in my hand, and that ended up being the right move. Which even with Vixity's counter, all they need to do is get back to yellow, and then the rest was history. Just I really, it's not even like J Money's getting monster hands, but just getting unlucky at the worst times. It's really not much he can do right now.
Right, for Vixity there, again, we mentioned it before. Thought the right game plan with keeping the draws in the blue, but that yellow one top deck really threw things out for Vixity. But draws have not really been your friend. Anything you consider for the rest of the series to try and play around this, or will it just be hoping things can turn around? So yeah, I mean, I don't really think I don't think Vixity's really gotten anything big off the draw so far in any of these 4 games here. But and there's sometimes there could be a flip in fortune, but sometimes it could also just never come. So I'm curious to see what side of the coin Vixity is going to be on with that one and what they do going forward, because they're going to have to win 3 straight for this series.
Yeah, look, I think Vixity, trying to sway things with the power play in game 3 is as best as you can do given just how unfortunate you've been getting so far, and even in game 4 it just hasn't changed. But you just gotta roll. It's now you just gotta be on house money and know that there's only so much you can do. You at least are playing as best you can. We'll see how game 5 goes, but hopefully this ends up being a competitive match because I don't like if J Money wins, I hope it's not with like a 6-bagger with power play. It's like you don't want to see something like that.
All right, well, we'll see where we go here. I mean, again, J Money said, like I said, power is in my hand. So he is feeling confident in what he gets, but we'll jump to game 5, and J Money is gonna have the call again. So I talked about before with the card start, we'll see that trend continue, but I expect J Money to go a little higher here.
Yeah, what does J Money go for? 9 makes the most sense, but he could also go 12 if he thinks higher tier is helping him more.
I mean, he did just win on 7 though, so
True, yeah. So
yeah, there's your
yeah,
12.
okay, let's go for the 12.
All right, no trend continues there. Blue 3 is going to be the opener there.
Yeah, it is funny. Uh, Maybe he's watching stream and heard what I said.
Yeah, that
I
is
think,
true. Maybe he is doing that, but
all right, so it's stop.
there it is.
No,
All
no,
right,
not,
well,
not the reference.
splits the blue, goes down to 4. Again, Vixie looking to see if they can get back into this one. J Money, I mean, the game plan is pretty simple. I think we know when the power play is going to come out for them, but it's just a matter of whether they can get there or not.
Not the reference from Science Stream when the you predicted he was going 12. My God. Um,
I mean, it was up there. He was rambling about the game, and I just had it up there, just sitting there waiting. So
yeah, early in the game, power play could theoretically be played here, but that would be sad. Um, Hopefully not. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna keep it blue. Think Vixity just hoping for anything, because +4s have just she's yet to see one. They've they've all gone to J Money right now. The generator is in his hands.
it's Pierce's presence being felt here in this matchup.
Switching to
All right, cross
green, and wow.
cross over to yellow.
Yeah, J Money he likes to he's very good at controlling the color switches. He the power if he wants the power in his hands, that's what he likes to do. It shows that he's going for those undercuts and preventing the switches that Big City wants, and it's making it tough for her to really do much.
I think the biggest thing for Vixie here is I think they need a gap, because I mean, if this is tied going into the lower cards, I feel like that's a big advantage for J Money. But
Oh my
we are really
God.
doing it. That is another crossover from J Money here. Now we're going into green.
Yeah, I think the moment Vic City has to draw, then she may have to think about going aggressive because J Money could win. J Money could win at any point at now with 7 cards left. +2, I think, is a good move.
That does give a bit of a gap also. Yeah, what is
Let's
the
see.
response from J Money though? Oh wow, it's
Ooh,
a
okay.
draw.
I think I know why he did that, but let's see what Vixity does.
Yeah, again, Vixity looking to get another one back. Force game 6.
Ooh,
Another
okay.
double play. So they are getting lowered and lower down.
Interesting. So did have more cards to work with. Maybe J Money didn't expect that. It's going to play some green now. What does Vixity do? Another green. So
This green has been what they needed. Question is, would they need to go back in the blue because they initially switched into blue?
yeah, J Money is trying to figure out what to do at this point. I think he was anticipating Vixity to draw early, but now that she didn't, he has to readjust. Oh
Alright,
my god, and yep.
+6 there. That's going to throw Vixity back once again. I think that gives J Money the lead now. Yeah, flips the scoreboard in a way.
Gonna
6 to
ditto
8.
the 8. Could be risky, honestly.
Works out.
Another red 0. Every time with J Money, he gets that red 0. Vixie does not have the green 0, though.
I read 7. I mean, again, for Vixie, just if they have ammo, maybe try to throw it out there, but otherwise, just gotta find a way to make J Money draw.
Right, let's see if red... Yeah, continues the red, but doesn't... No power play yet. But yeah,
That's gonna be
Vixie,
a
maybe nothing again.
that's gonna be a tough draw there. But J Money's
Okay,
gonna
it
draw
does
as
work
well,
out.
so not as painful. Alright, so now we're drawing on red here. I mean, Vixie desperately looking for something in their hand. But it
An
seems like
opportunity
these
to get
plus...
our first +4.
I mean, assuming it's not a hold, I mean, it seems like these +4s are not coming here at all, so... Gonna have to try to find something else, and especially with now they are no longer in the lead.
Is J Money good at holding sometimes, but sometimes he doesn't get anything, and he has to think about the way he plays. Red 3 is gonna be... I don't think it's gonna do much, but maybe J Money goes for the switch. Let's see. So yeah, no, doesn't get the switch. Vixie might look for it. That would
And
probably take...
if Vixie gets the switch that's tied, it's tied now. J Money will have possession arrow, but I mean, if they could get something rolling here, this could work out.
Yeah. No, that's what she needs right now. J Money might be going for another run. I don't think it'll be the win, but it might be something to get out of blue. Oh my god, yeah.
Goes
Exactly.
in goes in the green. 3-card run.
I don't mind that because Vixity, they were playing on green quite a bit, and now going back into it, maybe not expecting Vixity to have much on green.
Oh wow, they have
But
a 3-card run of their own in the
great
blue.
response. Basically does the same thing, and back into blue. Did J Money fade the blue though?
No,
No.
wow. Vixity giving herself some life in this one.
Okay, blue 1.
Yeah, but that's both skips gone, and
Wow.
that's another switch to green.
Could be a draw here, but
Cross over the
Vixity with
yellow.
the 1.
It's 5-3 though. J Money has no yellow. He's stuck
Ooh.
on 2-color. Red is very displeased at the moment.
This is big now. Vixity maybe in a potential win scenario. 3 cards left.
This game's gone past 7 minutes here, so a bit longer than I was initially thinking. But yellow 0 down to 2
Another
again, just
0. Okay.
running down the numbers in a very agonizing fashion.
Oh man, but J Money sometimes finds those cards he needs to prevent the win. He might just throw something down.
Oh my
Plus
god,
4.
another +4 comes his way. And Vixity is thrown back to 6.
I mean, Vixie just has yet to get +4 and might not have one still with the green 3.
J
But
Money
interesting,
draws
J
on
Money,
green.
huh?
Maybe a miscalculation there. Was thinking maybe Vixity was gonna switch, did not switch. And
Yeah,
suddenly that +4 feels like it just got burnt.
yeah, wow. So Vixie was content with green for quite a bit there, and now forcing the draw city. So J Money maybe. Oh God.
Another draw. I still think Vixity has not found a single +4.
Green 2. Can will Vixie go for the switch? I mean, at this point, it's risky because power play's on table, but I do like that. Go to yellow. We saw him
I
drawing it before.
I think I know what the danger color is at this point. We haven't seen it in a while, so I'm wondering if Vixity's gonna try to stay away from that for as long as she can.
All right, we're just gonna run down the yellow again. Does J-Money, I think, might have to draw at some point here, but maybe if he finds that number.
Oh
Oh
man,
my
power play
God.
there. That
Is it
might
the
wrap it
it
up.
was the
There's
red
the
5.
red. Yeah,
Yep.
it was red. Red was the danger color, and this might be a full red finish.
Let's see.
Red skip.
Yeah.
3
Don't tell me it's another
cards.
+4.
That's another +4. That is gonna be the cherry on top for this series. All right, no
Oh
+4
no,
there,
but
but he's
still.
gonna run it.
Wow, so all he yeah, that sucks because Vixity switching and keep the only way Vixity could potentially win is if they just kept green for a little bit longer. It's just so unfortunate. I mean, not being able to J-Money being able to control so much, and that's how he can. Uh, that's how he thrives. He with the control, he's clearly one of the best players here. I think Vixie played really well. I mean, unfortunately, momentum just never shifted her way.
All right, well, there's we're gonna open the floor for J Money for his thoughts there. Again, unfortunate end for Vixity there. That's 2 games in a row. It does not seem the cards were the ammo was very favorable towards them. I mean, they only won on wilds, which was there was barely any wilds in this series, and then reverses. Both of those were by 1. J Money 3 more +2s, and of course the +4 differential. Definitely gonna make it tough there, but I mean, Vixity, any thoughts on this one? It felt like at times you couldn't do anything, unfortunately, but you were definitely getting close a lot of times. I just think some of the ammo missing in your hand really just was the biggest thing that didn't let you get those game wins towards the end. But your thoughts on, I guess, this run in general? You gained some experience for next season. And I guess just the general expectations you go into next season for what would hopefully be a full season schedule instead of just this one tournament.
Yeah, I don't and I don't know what uh, and I assume at the end there you still didn't get a +4, which is just like bad. But I think, you did as almost as best as you could with what you had. I mean, it's funny because everything else is kind of even. It's relatively even, right? But then you see the +4 difference, and I'm curious as how that will affect the metric,
That's
which
gonna give it a
obviously isn't
big
one to
boost.
one.
But especially if it's someone gets 0. But yeah, for J Money, well, I've been there before. I can't say I'm not nervous. That would be a lie, but I know it can succeed. As always, job's not finished. Again, classic J Money quote here. He goes up to 7 wins on the season, and really boosting himself in terms of the seed, because I mean a lot of people were expecting him to just be an easy 10th seed, but I feel like he's definitely making an argument to be higher up. Maybe he could find a way to sneak into the top 4 depending on the results. So we'll see how that goes. J Money technically part of the bubble here.
Hello.
Hello. We're
Yes.
wrapping up the stream here, but
Is it
But-
stream?
yeah, I could tell you about it afterwards, but
Okay. I'll just wait.
all right. Well, again, here's your bracket. J Money moving on. The 4-1 win will face Jordy in the round of 16. Yoshi, I mean, final thoughts on the series. I mean, we were talking about it before. I mean, Vixity just did not seem to be able to find the ammo there throughout that to find those finishes, and unfortunately, I mean, the big plus 6-0 plus 4 differential really did not help things on their side.
Yeah, I think you can at least learn from the games that you were able. Well, I guess you can only learn so much when you just don't have much to work with. I think her being on a stream will help her for the next time she's on one. Maybe a little bit less nervous, and we'll play a bit better. Obviously, the big problem with this series was just the fact that she couldn't get any +4s, which J Money, I mean, pretty much every time he had a +4, he needed it to win the game or stop Vixity from winning the game. So every +4 mattered for him, and I think he's got this momentum going up against Jordy. I think this is kind of a similar story to T2 to me, because J Money played Jamie, and I think in the round of 16, who was kind of like someone we didn't expect to get that far. And J Money made it look easy. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that again with Jordy, but like I said, J Money can't underestimate any player he faces, so we don't know what to expect there. But I think it should be a good match for that round of 16. If J Money gets that win, then he might be a threat to potentially get a top half seeding, which would be top 5, maybe even top 4. Still a long way to go though for him, especially because he got out early in the T3. So, but Vixity, it's your first tournament being the last tournament of the season. There's not much to really be upset about, because you did get a win in the first round, not being able to win much in the second. But you at least go into next season with something to work with, and then hopefully things pan out a bit better. But yeah, that's all I can really say. I think it was a good match. I think both players played as best they could. J Money got the edge with the +4s.
I mean, J Money's game plan from start to finish was really well crafted. Was able to get the cards and execute perfectly on that. So J Money did a great job with that. Vixie, I think they played the best they could. I mean, even though this was a disappointing result, I think they were the top seeded rookie for a reason. I think they lived up to that. And even though the tournament ends in 5 in the round of 32, I think it was still a good showing, and they could be someone to watch out for next season. We'll keep an eye out for that, but until then, that'll be it. We'll have another stream coming at you at 4 p.m. with Geo and Marbleside. That'll be a good one to watch out for. Short will be taking the reins for that one. But until then, on behalf of the MRE UNO team, my co-commentator Yoshi, and all our players, thank you all so much for watching. Congratulations to J Money on the win. He moves on to the round 16 for the second time this season. But until then, we will be back with some more MRE UNO action about 2 hours or so. Geo Marbleside, Geo another bubble player looking to get the win, Marbleside looking to make it into the LCQ. But until then, take care everyone, and we will be back with some more MRE UNO action.
This has been a presentation of MRE UNO Division 2.